when something falls from outer space, and a family of four has some looks upon their faces. They're sitting in a boat and they're struggling to survive because they wake up and realize the oceans have dried up, and now they must decide whether to lay down and die or struggle in the land. But then one person comes along and takes the 4-3, and now the mother must protect her two children, even though not one of them could get out of bed without some help from someone else. And then we must see if this mother and two children survive, because this film will struggle to limp along. What is it? It is survive. And I don't care if any of these characters are alive, because there are so many cliches such as some crabs and a drifter and some other bullshit. What the fuck is this? It's Survive! Which is a French disaster film in every sense of the word. It's currently streaming on Hulu. It features the late, great Amélie de Quenet. I'm not certain I even got that right. Brotherhood of the Wolf, and Close. She was terrific in Close. And this is one of the last recorded movies she did. There are other people in this, including Lisa Delmar, who's going to be in Influencers. Yes, they're doing a sequel to Influencer. Actually was a terrific movie. And basically, a family is on a boat. Weird stuff starts happening. They wake up. They realize the oceans have dried up. It's a cataclysmic event, but the oceans are going to return. They must find a way to get to some kind of shelter. The highest point possible, whatever it is. But it won't be easy. Mainly because they're all idiots. And also because the director and two writers. It took two people to write this. I do not understand why it took two people to write this. Honestly, I am alarmed that this film was actually written by people. Now, maybe it's a translation issue because it goes from French to English, and that's fine. I don't mind that, but the movie couldn't pick a goddamn tone. I'm going to get into spoilers here in a minute, but spoiling any of this will not haunt you at all. Like the fact that Amélie, this is like one of her last roles. That is shameful. That is fucking goddamn shameful. There are like 10 people in this fucking cast. So it is on Hulu if you want to check it out. This is one of the worst movies of the year by far. It got released, it says 2024, but it actually got released in the States and in other areas in 2025. So it counts for me to call it one of the worst movies of 2025. So goddamn shameful. This is not how a great career should go out. But that being said, I hope everybody had fun. I sure as fuck didn't have fun watching it, and I'll explain why in spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So this tone is so bizarre, how bizarre. Every time I look around, the tone hits me in my face. There is a Polaroid camera in this. This family is vacationing off the coast of Cuba, and a storm is coming. The weather started getting rough. And they're quickly stranded, by the way, while whales are going along, electromagnetic fields are freaking them out and everything. We find out little bits of information about these characters. We don't necessarily care. The son, I think, celebrated his 13th birthday. And then everybody, let's see, Julia, Emily's character, she starts having nosebleeds. One character's throwing up. I believe that's Cassie, who's played by Lisa. And you would tell him the piper's son stole the pig, and away he went. And yeah, I don't really know what in the world they were going for here. They had some family drama, and then this happened. There's weird satellites or moon rocks. Oh, wow, slamming down into the earth. And Cassie is upset that her boyfriend died. At least I assume. I don't know. That guy literally phoned in his role. We don't actually see him except on a computer screen. So he could be an AI creation for all I know. Actually, I think the guy is a legit person. But they call on the radio. They find out there's some other surviving guy named Now from this weird oceanic sphere thing. You know, one of those little boxes that you could use to traverse the ocean if you're lowered and everything. Like, you know, it'll float along and stuff like that. And it's airtight and will make sure that you're okay. There's room for 2 more. There are 4 of them. There are room for 2 more. That's better. Basically, the idea is they want to get their children there, and then they will be fine. Suddenly, Tom sees a weird drifter guy with a dog, and instead of saying, hey, wait right there, I'll bring you some supplies, even though we don't have much, He goes out to talk to the guy. And mind you, this has not been going on that long. Like, it's maybe been going on a few hours, maybe a day. It's really hard to fucking tell. And even if it's been going on a few days, they make it seem like this has been going on for a while because this drifter is all kinds of messed up, all kinds of destroyed. The dog's remarkably clean, and he ends up having a weird harpoon thing that he made out of a steak knife and a stick. And he ends up killing Tom, because Tom's an idiot. He ends up trying to go for Julia, who runs at the guy and then runs away. Just nobody makes good decisions here. Then, to protect her kids, she locks them in certain cubby holes in the boat, and then kills the dog. To be fair, it was mostly off camera, and I didn't really care here. But they had a chance to help their mother, and then one rose out. I believe Julia rose out. No, Cassie rose out. Julia's the mother. Rose out with a goddamn flare gun and shot the guy. So somehow the guy survived being shot with a flare gun, by the way. So the boat's burning down. They get what they can, but they don't have any water. The drifter is still alive. And I don't actually know if the guy has a name. I don't necessarily care. I mean, he wasn't given any dialogue, so it was what it was. And there's radioactive barrels because the ocean's dried up, so now we see these barrels here and stuff like that. So don't drink that water, kids. But then they find an old plane that's been buried underwater for a while. Possibly Amelia Earhart's plane. It's not, but I'll go with it. And the dad did oceanic research, and we got exposition at this point in the movie when the cause was long lost. How did, Julia and Tom meet? Who cares? Show me some goddamn disaster stuff instead of what you've been fucking showing. Show me creatures. Show me mutations. Show me stuff that was buried in the ocean that, could attack because now it's on dry land. What do you mean there's giant enemy crabs here and you can't attack the weak points for massive damage? That's the best you could come up with. So, the acting is terrible. Terrible. I mean, and I'm sorry, there are capable people in this, but the acting is terrible. The writing in particular is really dog shit. But they make a plastic fort out of like old seats, I assume old seats from whatever. And then there's some weird chittering. And then we have the giant enemy crabs here, straight out of some PS3 game. And then these three basically somehow managed to get to these shipping containers where three people have somehow managed to survive until these three idiots show up. They get destroyed by these crabs. One guy tries to get out through the roof. He gets taken down. But then they're able to just shoot the crabs or destroy them. But the crabs disappear. They were shot. Some were shot, but somehow they were able to take down these three douches. Julia's leg gets fucked. Julia's getting, trying to fix up her leg because she's a doctor. They get a shotgun, and she fixes her leg by cauterizing the wound. They get some supplies. They get a hold of Now, who is hurt, by the way, and I think was hurt for pretty much the whole movie. So now there's going to be room for all three of them. Then a rock slide hits, and the family gets separated. So kids, go, save yourselves. And then the enemy crabs show back up, so she starts shooting and picking them off, quick time event style. And then they realize Now is really hurt. He's basically, insinuating, I'm not going to make it. So Cassie goes back to get her mother, and then they get into this thing, and everything's fine. The ocean comes back. The enemy crabs seemingly go back underwater, and now they're in Hawaii or Cuba or possibly, I don't know, Detroit. I don't really care where they're at. All I know is Survive is one of the top 10 worst movies of the year. And I don't care if anybody involved in this happens to be watching it, because you can be proud of what you fucking made. But I clicked on this goddamn thing and wasted my fucking time watching this. Pick a tone, pick a lane, preferably a lane into oncoming traffic. That is actually really mean. I mean, we shouldn't send a movie into oncoming traffic. It's a movie, it can't help itself, but this is really bad. It gets an F. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rittland. Until we see better disaster films soon, please, for the love of God, soon. Happy trails to you.